Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Resident Evil 4.
Right before we continue, please send the actress my condolences because Lily Gatto got harassed a lot because she wasn't being seductive enough for Ada. I mean, you're free to criticize, but harassing the actress is very unacceptable. So yeah, so please send her my condolences. Let's start off with what I like about the remake. The village is a little improvement. The context is the ruins, which is something that I really like in the remake, but I wish they took the original as an inspiration. The gladiator in the remake is definitely one of the biggest improvements. The gladiator will not only hit you, but hit your enemies as well. The bear traps in the game is definitely one of the big improvements. In the original, Leon, Ada, and Ashley were the only ones that get caught in the bear trap. But this time, the villagers, like the Salvador and the Bella sister, could get caught in the bear trap, and this is definitely one of the best improvements I've seen. My favorite moment in the game is the villagers chanting. The classic costume 2 suit is actually shown in the cutscenes. In the original, you had to modify it in order to get it shown in the cutscenes. And the original lacked skins, and you only had 3 skins. The pinstripe suit will always be iconic, even to this very day. I like the romantic outfits inspired by Interview with the Vampire. It's one of my favorite outfits in the game. Another favorite outfit of mine that I like in the game is the villain. This is basically if Leon chose a dark path, which is obviously inspired by Rebecca Chambers' Team Wesker skin and Stefano Valentini from Evil Within 2. If you combine them with Jared Leto, this is what an evil version of Leon S. Kennedy would look like. I love they brought this back in the remake.
I broke my back.
Skills?
Spinal.
I love how Luis has more screen time, but I hate the way how he's portrayed, and we're going to talk about that later. I love how they make a reference of Ashley sitting, a homage to the poster, and the one thing I like about it is that they both get to watch you shoot. In the original, Ashley couldn't come with you. In the original, the key would either be tossed away or it would be stuck in your inventory. But in the remake, you can sell to the merchant, which is pretty good. I like this improvement. I really love Ada in the remake. Combat is definitely improved. She could take down her shields with her grappling gun. She can use it against her enemies, and this is definitely one of the best things I've seen. She's like a Bond girl. Also love how they make a reference to Umbrella Chronicles. Mercenaries is fun. Krauser and Ada are my mains, which I really like. I say Krauser is the most satisfying to play. The Blue Medallion is definitely one of the big improvements, and I actually like this. In the original, you couldn't go back. You would get the there's no need to go back, but in a remake, you could go around and do whatever you want. The remake is fun. I mean, I really enjoyed it. But without the infinite ammo, it's just a one and done. And the thing is that I'll be expecting more on the way. For every new corner, I highly recommend them they get mods if they want to make the game super fun, because it will keep you entertained. Without them, it's just a one and done because it makes the game so stale. So that's pretty much what I gotta say. Let's continue to the next section. My biggest problem with the remake that I dislike is that people have been trying to claim that the Resident Evil 4 remake is a survival horror experience because they got it from the developers, but in reality it's an action horror. It's more of an action game, and yes, in the original it is the action game too, but the original has more emphasis on the horror elements. The remake has some, but it's more of an action game. For example, Ada, Leon, and Ashley, they talk way too much in a remake. Especially Ada and Leon, when they neutralize the canals, for example.
Twisty son of a bitch. They keep coming. One down. Stay down, all right? One down. You feeling this?
Things are heating up. That did the trick. Nothing personal. Almost out of it. Bring me the challenge. You're a tough one. Finally. Almost at the church. What a warm welcome. Bring me the cow. This way looks promising. Here we are.
Oh, thank God. I am done with armor. Didn't I just say I was done? This sucks! Stay away!
It's not only just three of them that talks. Chief Menendez and Sadler speaks way too much. Even Krauser too. But in my personal opinion, it would have been fitting to only put it on Salazar because he's a spoiled brat. For example, the first phase and the second phase of these villains.
There is no escape. There is no escape.
There is no escape.
Enough of this.
Still after me, huh?
Soul requires cleansing. Come, child.
Cease your pointless struggling. Abandon your body to the will of our God. Oh, Almighty, grant me the strength to crush your enemies.
Now, get the fuck. We share the same blood. Why do you resist? Such blasphemous desecration, such unforgivable heresy. Yet, is it not the sinner who is in most need of salvation? Kneel before the vile foolish child and submiss once more. The sorrows of this world are without number. Study your heart and know this to be true. Incessant war. Man turns a blind eye. Like a flowing river, the voices of my flock. Do not disobey your father. Faithful disciples assemble! Besiege! Do not let them escape!
Pray. Repent. Why do you resist?
𝐾𝐽. May you find the peace.
Fear the wrath of God.
Our salvation begins now.
Everything I taught you. What a waste. What the hell were you doing for 2 years? You would have done well to accept this power for yourself.
I remember watching a video from 𝐷EMI19XX and I agree with him about the aiming controls in Resident Evil 4 Remake. It is a complete garbage. Even Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes have a better aiming system than Resident Evil 4 Remake. But the big issue is people will throw out the term get good, skill issue, or you're trash at the game, which is completely the same obnoxious arguments over and over again when we're criticizing the problems with the aiming. When I did my first video, I really noticed that the aiming was so terrible, and that's one thing I've been noticing lately is that the crosshairs has been extremely lazy. That's something that I've been noticing. Biggest downgrade in the game is the bolt thrower, the Chicago typewriter, and the Red 9.
You're all going to die down here.
This is going to be a short topic. This is easy. I'm probably the only person that called the laser room scene. I haven't seen one particular individual that called this out, and somebody had to do it. The laser room is not the problem just because you give it to Ada. My problem is the journalist right here. He said from his own words, The U3 bioweapon Leon is confronted with a handful of quick-time events that show off his acrobatic, laser dodging talents. It's endearing cheesy, and the noticeably less cheesy remake. That's a ridiculous statement because here's the thing, both of them are very cheesy. It is not just one. Another comment from this journalist is when he said Leon never faces U3 or the deadly laser security system, but Ada does. Buddy, don't you realize that Ada's campaign in the remake is just Leon's campaign, but just stolen? The monster that we see could get cut in half right here. Another problem here is that her hand doesn't get cut off as well. The way this scene is presented is just bleak. The laser only just cuts through her face, but not her whole body. Her hair doesn't fall to pieces and it just cuts to a black screen. The problem is, the scene is less scary. When a movie that's like 22 years old that does something better than the video game, you know something's wrong. It's sad that it's still untouchable to this day. Like I said in my original video, if Capcom had the balls to show her being cut up in half, dismembered, similar to the movie like the 2002 version, just showing the way like it was, then I will absolutely say that the remake is better than the original. What caught my attention on Twitter is G-Man acting like a child by accusing Crocat of boosting the audio, which is bullshit. Yes, we all know he changed the title to be sarcastic and delete comments. Crocat pinned comment by his own words. Professional sellers know that mob mentality doesn't care about the truth. All that matters is glorification of the sacred product. That's resorting to uneducated level whataboutism. From my experience since the original is definitely more noticeable than the remake. The remake has some. I'll show you my comparison. But this time, it's going to be very loud. Since all of us ask ourselves, what makes the remake soulless? Yes, we are all fully aware that it's a 4chan meme. That's not the only problem, it's the word soulless. And yes, soulless is a very strong word and it could effectively piss off a lot of people. You wanna know what makes a remake soulless? Censorship. They took out a lot from the game. Not just a remake, they even did it to the original game on the VR, so it's not a coincidence. They altered the dialogue of the dead woman.
I started out in Disney, and I saw the subject's names actually branded.
Every meme, every dialogue, and their flirting has been downgraded from the game. The outfit is decent, inspired by the actress. She originally was supposed to have a skimpier outfit, but it's been cut from the game. Ada's and Ashley's iconic outfits have been altered, which is obviously inspired by Heather Mason. She's one of my favorites. Ashley's sexy outfit has been cut from the game. It was inspired by Britney Spears. The Ganado's head doesn't explode when Leon does a suplex. The elements in the remake is indeed soulless. You no longer get to see your characters do some cool animations when you're in that screen. What the remake lacks is art design. The remake cut up a lot of quotes. You only get one quote when you sit on Sadler's chair. Ada's campaign is just a copy and paste of Leon's campaign, but just a lazy skin. And yes, in the original her campaign was similar to his, but it was told in a different way. 2 of the enemies from the island is missing. In the remake, you no longer shoot down doors, and the list goes on and on. If you truly believe that there's no cut content, I could make a whole list of how many cut content they have cut out, and yes, they cut up a lot of content. Just like RE3 remake, just like RE2 remake. I find it ironic that most of these morons throw the term faithful. Like I said in my Dead Space review, you want to be faithful? Get real. Also forgot about the logos as well. Not only that the remake is soulless, every single iconic line has been cut from the game and has been removed and it's been swapped in different locations. And not only that, and I figured that they are completely lazy, and if you don't believe me, here you go.
But now I'm just a good-for-nothing guy who happens to be quite a ladies' man.
I'm just an average guy who happens to be quite the ladies' man.
Consider the village infected. Complete local saturation.
Ensuring complete global saturation.
Story of my life. Story of my life.
Sadler, you bastard! Sadler, you bastard.
You're nothing but an extra in my script, so don't get too carried away. Your biggest scene is over.
I don't ever remember being a part of your crappy script.
Well then, why don't you show me what a first-class script is like through your own actions?
You are nothing but an extra in my script, Mr. Kennedy. So don't get too carried away. Your biggest scene is over.
Leave me out of your crappy script.
Well then, why don't you show me what a first-class script is like through your own actions?
Talk about near-death experience.
I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics, too.
So, after you take me back to my place, how about we do some, overtime?
Sex?
No thanks, bro.
I've sent my right hand to dispose of you.
Your right hand comes off?
Since you're here, why don't I introduce you to it? It should keep you busy.
Perfect. The big cheese. What? Adios, Leon.
See you around.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Sadler, you're small time. Thanks. That should keep me company, 'cause boredom kills me.
Maybe you forgot, Wesker. I don't always play by your rules.
Is it me, or is the RE4 remake copying a little bit off of the Evil Within franchise?
Every game has. See, he said in modern games there's like stealth mechanics. So like I said, you're copying other games.
Look how they mess with my boy. Look how they mess with my boy.
I highly recommend you check out ID4300. He has a better retrospective on the game, the original game, the remake, and Separate Ways, and the story is severely lacking in the game. Not only the main campaign is my main focus of the problem, Separate Ways is completely rushed and it lacks detail of the story. Ada's report is missing, which is a wasted opportunity. It would have been very interesting if she talked about the village, the castle, and the island, and the whole entire cast, including herself. Ada is no longer ordered to kill Leon if he ever gets in her way. Ada and Krauser no longer interact with each other. Krauser went from working with Wesker, but in the remake, he's just a completely bland villain.
Well, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress.
And the second Krauser boss fight is no longer in the game. This time, it's Leon that kills Krauser, but in the original, Ada was the one that killed Krauser. Not only Separate Ways is rushed and is lazy, it's just Leon's campaign just with a different skin. The laser room, the U3, the drill, Blue Moonstone, the trap, the sewer, and the lift. Ada's ride in the remake is just a one and done. The original, Ada has to kill the Bella sister in order to get the lift key, and then she runs right back up and activate it. That's how Ashley and Leon got on.
Won't fall for this old trick. Sounds like you thought this one out pretty well.
Not only that disappoints me that they got rid of his grappling hook, he had a flashlight on his belt, but in the remake he carries a flashlight. I mean, Capcom has no problem bringing back his earpiece, which is at the chapter 5, very beginning when you meet Mike for the first time. People will ask me why does it matter, because in the original and the remake we all see Ada use her grappling gun all the time, so why not bring it back? You no longer get to see Leon do his training skills no more. In the remake, Ada now has a walkie-talkie. In the original, she had a small phone and a small little knife. Also, her sunglasses is missing as well, with a smoke bomb. Oh, one more thing to mention. You remember that tracking device? Because I guarantee people are confused by that. The thing is, in the original, it's Leon's tracking device. He placed it on Ashley, and later on he was being trapped by the It later on in the game. And it's purposely done by the developers. They gave everything what Leon had to Ada in the remake.
Leon. Why am I not surprised?
The chemistry in the remake is dull, and they barely have any interactions with each other. In the original, she flirted with him plenty of times by sending him some letters. Ada no longer rescue Leon anymore. The one thing that really disappoints me is that they cut out one of my favorite moments in the game, that she took his word of advice. The one thing that bugs me about the remake is that how they portray Luis. It's cool to see him have more screen time and you can play as him in the Mercenaries, but the one thing I really hate, they ruined his relationship with Leon. I mean, and yes, he was a very suspicious guy. He was obviously lying that he was a cop and he was trying to misinform, but the thing is, at least he was willing to help out Leon and Ashley. But the way he's presented is very lazy. He went from just being just your average dude to just becoming an annoying sidekick trope, which is pretty annoying. They really massacred him so bad. And Luis's memo has been scrapped out entirely. Let's focus when Leon meets Luis for the first time and they interact with each other.
A little rough, don't you think?
That hurts, you know?
Seemed like you really wanted to talk.
You're not like them?
No. You?
Okay, I have only one very important question. You got a smoke?
Got gum.
How observant, senor. Now, say, you got a smoke?
You know, those things will kill you.
Oh, well, maybe just untie me then, huh?
Perfect. The big cheese.
What?
Not this guy!
Who are you? Okay, stop right there!
Let us give you our power. Soon, you will become unable to resist this intoxicating power. You will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
Oh, what the fuck?
Hey, wake up.
Ay. Crawl out of one hole and into another.
You want to tell me what's going on here?
Americano, see? Now what brings a bloke like you to this part of the world? Oh, hey, easy, whoever you are.
Name's Leon. Came here looking for this girl. Seen her?
Hey, stop it. Hey, Yankee. Got a name?
Leon.
Quiet type, eh? I'm Luis Serra. Guess you, me, picked the wrongest spot to vacation, eh? Hey! Stop it! You move, I move. And I'm beat up enough as it is.
What, are you supposed to be a cop or something? Nah, you don't look the type.
Maybe.
Okay, let me guess. She's the president's daughter?
One more guess. Maybe some missing señorita?
That's too good for a guess. Want to start explaining?
Psychic powers. Nah, just kidding with you, amigo. I overheard one of the villagers talking something about the president's daughter in the church.
Young girl? Talk. Now.
All right. See, heard chatter about moving, señorita.
Moving her.
And who might you be?
Me llamo Luis Serra. I used to be a cop in Madrid. But now I'm just a good-for-nothing guy who happens to be quite a ladies' man.
Why'd you quit?
Phew, policia. You put your life on the line. Nobody really appreciates you enough for it. Being a hero isn't what it's cracked up to be anymore.
Used to be a cop myself. Only for a day, though.
I thought I was bad.
Somehow I managed to get myself involved with the incident in Raccoon City on my first day in the force.
That is the incident with the viral outbreak, right? I think I might have seen a sample of the virus in a lab at the department.
Some men dragging someone to the old church. Hanging with you, not healthy.
Hey, we're not done here!
Later, amigo.
Hey boy, I'm not done.
Do something, cop!
After you.
Now!
In his final journey, he gets killed by Krauser, but it's more fitting for him to be killed by Sadler because he was hired by him. and he is kind of to blame because he's responsible for all the creatures that you have dealt with. I want to end this with one final thing before we move on to the villains. You remember the part where you could actually shoot Luis in a remake?
Against two of us.
In the remake, Luis would not retaliate. Want to know what happens in the original?
Adios, Leon.
The hidden cutscene alone easily destroys the new Luis, no contest. The problem is in a remake is that every transformation is hidden from the player, or shown way too close, or cut up in the screen so you can't see it. In the original, you will absolutely see the transformations, and it has a horror feel into it. For example, meeting the gladiator and fighting it, the girl being sacrificed, and later on in chapter 4 you find their bodies later on in the game. What would have been more sinister is they should have dressed like Ashley. That could have been more scary. People say the original's not scary because they focus on the action. It's not just the action. The soundtrack, some of the areas is very scary, and the tone of it is very scary. Here's a clip for example. No V-stars in the remake are not scary at all anymore. They're no more of a threat. In the remake, you could easily see them, but in the original, they were a big threat and you had to take them out. Not only that the remake is lacking cinematography and all the cool moments, there is some, but it's heavily downgraded and it's been cut from the game. And I'm very disappointed because I wish it was similar to it by upgrading it, but it's more of a downgrade. But it's not only just a downgrade of the gameplay, the biggest one is the flirting. And listen, and people get so hostile with this. I mean, we're all here to have fun. That's all we gotta have to do. But I'm just gonna show you a comparison, just like in my original video, that the flirting is just, meh. I'll just show you for example.
You did well back there. Seems this isn't your first time running from creeps.
I can't tell if that's meant to be a compliment. So, you do a lot of missions like this?
Well, yeah, but I'm not used to having such good company.
Is that a compliment?
Take it however you want.
I was thinking, we work well together, don't we?
I guess so.
Right? Maybe someday I'll become an agent like you. What do you think? We could protect the US from any and all threats.
Is that right? Well, either way, first we have to make it out of here.
You're no fun.
Sorry, not interested.
Sorry, you're not my type. I am flattered, but I'm a one-lady type of guy.
You know, I could put in a word with my dad. Have you assigned to my detail, if you're interested.
You don't need me. You proved you could handle yourself. Even if you could use a lesson in knife safety.
Leon, I hope you can hear me. I'm Ingrid Hunnigan. I'll be your support on this mission.
Loud and clear. Somehow I thought you'd be a little older.
Leon, it's been 6 hours since our last transmission. I was starting to get worried.
Don't you mean lonely? Hunnigan, is that you?
Finally, the line's jack free.
Hey, Hunnigan, no glasses.
Forget the glasses. What's the status of the mission?
I've rescued the subject. We're returning home.
You did it, Leon.
Thanks. You know, you're kind of cute without those glasses. Give me your number when I get back.
I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics, too. Okay, we skipped the foreplay. As a matter of fact, I was just going to get it. Where's the love, baby? I have to go back and get it.
Let me come with you.
No, you stay here with Leon. He is better with the ladies, I'm sure.
No way, Leon.
Way?
Are you out of your mind?
I knew you'd be fine if you landed on your butt.
So, after you take me back to my place, how about we do some, overtime?
The writing in this game is boring. It has a serious tone and you can't even take it too seriously. Not only that the remake is lacking the dialogue writing, it's just the cover art and the storytelling as it's told. This is something that the remake is missing, the detail of how you explain the story with the pictures. People want to throw the term realistic. Let's go back to the original with the Hunnigan calls and the remake.
Is everything okay?
There was a hostile local. I had no choice but to neutralize him. There are still others surrounding the area.
Get out of there and head toward the village. Take whatever measures necessary to save the subject.
Understood.
Bruce, this is Condor 1.
Hunnigan here. What's your sit rep?
The president's daughter, Baby Eagle. It's likely she's in this village.
Our intel was correct then. Well done.
Need a location on a nearby lake. She may have been taken there.
Copy that. I'll see what I can find.
Hurry up. Something's happened to the people here. My escorts are...
Leon, how you holding up?
Bad question, Hunnigan.
Sorry to hear that. I'm sending you a playing manual. Hope you find it useful.
I'll take a look at it, thanks. Hunnigan, I have some bad news. I've confirmed the body of an officer. Something's happened to the people here.
Leon, you need to get out of there. Look for a tower and follow the trail near it.
Got it.
Bruce to Condor 1. I've identified a route to the lake. Look for a large windmill. There's a path on the far side of it.
Windmill. Copy that.
And be careful. Bruce.
Leon, I have some bad news.
I'd rather not hear it.
Well, I'm afraid I have to tell you anyway. We've lost contact with the chopper. Someone must have shot it down, though we can't determine who.
Great.
We're prepping another chopper for you. Meanwhile, I want you to head towards the extraction point.
Got it.
This is Roost. I've got some bad news, Condor 1. With the weather like this, the chopper can't make its approach. Can you stand by until it clears?
Negative. Too dangerous. We're gonna get out of here and find someplace safe.
I'm sorry. I wish I could do more to help.
Don't worry about it. We'll swim home if we have to. Condor 1, out.
For me, my biggest problem with the dialogue with Hunnigan in the remake is that she says about the helicopter not being able to make it in the weather like this. But there has been cases that helicopters have been used during the rain, so why not reuse the same thing like it was in the original where they shot down the helicopter? It could have been more interesting of who did it. People in the comments will tell me that they've been trying to go for the realistic approach. Of course they have, even since the beginning, but Resident Evil is very notorious for being cheesy. It's been in their DNA since the beginning of the game. And Resident Evil is not supposed to be taken too seriously. In some cases, it does need some realism into it so it can make sense. But people need to remember, it's a video game. We need to have fun. Because if you're really going to strip away and take the tone and the fun out of the game, if you put more realistic into it, you're not going to have fun.
Your blood has accepted the gift.
You carry the same blood as us, it seems. Nevertheless, you're an outsider. Just remember, if you become unpleasant to our eyes, you'll face severe consequences.
What? Same blood.
blood?
Allí.
Having a bad day?
So in this clip, I'm about to talk about Chief Menendez. The problem here that I have is not only they made changes with Leon and Ada, the biggest issue I have is the scene where he says this.
Your blood has accepted the gift.
In the original, he was going to kill him, but he looked carefully to his eyes and realized that he was carrying the same blood. And I really love this performance right here.
You carry the same blood as us, it seems. Nevertheless, you're an outsider. Just remember, if you become unpleasant to our eyes, you'll face severe consequences.
Another change that I hate is that how they have Chief Menendez injecting Leon with the Plaga, but in reality, it was the Ganado that was injecting Leon with the Plaga. And another problem with the remake is not only Ada gets captured, and we'll speak on that in a sec. My problem is that Chief Menendez, he grabs her and he just tosses her away. Like, why throw her away? Why not just capture her just like in the original? In the remake, Wesker saves her life, but in the original, she saved herself. Moving on to the next section.
Leon!
Your soul requires cleansing.
Hasta luego.
Oh, Almighty, grant me the strength to crush your enemies.
Hasta luego.
God, I thank you for your gift.
You want to get ugly? Let's get ugly.
In the remake, they made some changes that Chief Menendez chasing Leon and Ashley, it becomes a cat and mouse. But in the original, Chief Menendez ambushes Leon. It was just used as a settlement. Another problem with the remake is that we never get another memo about Chief Menendez anymore, because in the original, the false eye was to gain access out the village, whereas in a remake, you don't have to worry about it no more. And one final thing that it really disappoints me when they got rid of is Chief's note. We no longer get to see his frustration anymore on why keep them alive. Salazar is just there for the script, and there's nothing special about him in a remake. He just looks like an old haggard woman. And we no longer get to see him toy with Leon anymore. We no longer get to see the back and forth banter between them two. And we no longer get to see Leon pissing him off in the most satisfying way.
How dare you! No more games! Kill him! Kill!
Sadler is easy to talk about because he has less screen time. You meet him at chapter 14, way before you fight Krauser. In the original, you meet him very early on in the game, and he's completely forgettable in this remake. You no longer get to see the back and forth banter between Leon and Sadler. It was a fun interaction where they trash talk each other. The reason a lot of people like the old Sadler is not just because that he's just a cult leader, even in the original, it's the fact that he's charisma and he has more charm. Sadler has his moments like this.
What's so funny?
Oh, I think you know. The American prevailing is a cliché that only happens in your Hollywood movies. Oh, Mr. Kennedy, you entertain me. To show my appreciation, I will help you awaken from your world of clichés.
Ada, stand back.
The main reason why I like the back and forth banter, it had the Hans Gruber and John McClane feel to it. You get the connection between the hero and the villain, trash talking each other and going back and forth with each other. That's something that the remake lacks. In a remake, you get calls with Luis twice and Ada 3 times. That's what makes Resident Evil 4, the 2005 version, very entertaining, the back and forth banter between them.
It is in the darkness where truth awaits us, a fact very few ever realize before their insignificant lives come to an end. But on that day, in the depths of that jungle, I was to face that darkness, and I was to know that truth. Who is this man with Wesker that Leon was talking about? And if I found him, could he help me regain my strength?
And next I want to talk about Krauser fight. The very iconic fight, and it's the cinematography here. Synthetic Man completely missed the point. It has nothing to do with the knife mechanics. From my perspective, when Crockett was trying to show this to all of us, I truly believe he was trying to tell us it went from showing that these two were equal foot. It made him seem like a threat. It made it feel like that Leon is facing his former self, his evil version of himself. But whereas in a remake, it's just a teacher versus mentor. But I prefer them to be comrades rather than just be a teacher versus mentor, which is lame. The thing is, if people who are new, if you're unfamiliar with what is Operation Javier, all you need to do is play Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles, play as Krauser or Leon, and I'll let you understand it for yourself. Back to the main point. The problem is what Synthetic Man completely missed. The knife fight in the original, it had that realistic feel to it, of how you put yourself in a knife fight. In the remake, he puts a knife to his neck and he just clowns him.
Didn't I teach you? Knives are faster.
In the original, he pops up out of nowhere and tries to kill him. And the cinematography is a downgrade. Before you fight him, it becomes a Steven Seagal moment. It reminds me of this movie. All jokes aside, we all know that you have to use your QTEs to fight him, whereas in a remake, you have a free will to get close and personal. It's going to remind you, Synthetic, it's not just the knife mechanics in the fight, it's the changes that they made.
Jack Krauser has been the subject of extensive study and research by the organization. His skills and personality have been tested both on and off the battlefield. If he weren't the best, he would become a liability that would jeopardize the rest of us. My conclusion? He's a great soldier. No more, no less. As long as he's well compensated, he shouldn't cause any problems for us. If he does start to get restless, I can take care of him. I've studied his combat style and can deal with that arm of his if necessary. Krauser answers directly to Wesker, and it was Wesker who decided that Krauser should be sent to spy on the cult. He also decided to send me along. I wonder if it wasn't to keep an eye on Krauser. No doubt, Krauser has already fallen to the temptation of Las Plagas and the power they represent. This could have dire consequences for the organization. On some level, however, this may be a necessary development, as his role is to disrupt this farce of a play. That said, the stage and its players will ultimately come crashing down in the end. Bad luck for him. But he'll play the patsy in the end and take the fall for all of us. That's why I need to make sure things keep going exactly as they are.
What's the news on our friend, Leon?
He's not making it easy. The sample?
Sadler's got it. It seems he sniffed out our little game.
Perfect.
Just so we understand each other clearly, I don't trust you, nor does Wesker. If you try to do anything clever, I will kill you.
Is that so? You know, I met Wesker long before you.
We'll see soon enough if you did.
Yeah, we'll see.
Quite a jolly mess he's made, that Leon, but all for the better. Sadler's people have fallen into a panic. Their destruction is only a matter of time now.
Once he gets Ashley back, his job will be finished. He'll no longer be a factor.
No, I'm leaving Leon to Krauser. Hurry up and retrieve the sample.
Ada no longer goes through the tunnel where she has to deal with the Ganados, and then she has to go to the shipyard and dispatch it right away.
Ada! A bad guy. Krauser just stole the amber. Leon's fighting him now.
I'm on my way.
Enough play, rookie. You haven't changed a damn bit. What a disappointment.
All for Umbrella's sake. Umbrella? Almost let it slip. Enough talk. Die, comrade! Ada! Well, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress.
Looks like we have the upper hand here.
You may be able to prolong your life, but it's not like you can escape your inevitable death, is it?
You knew each other?
More or less. Maybe it's about time you told me the reason why you're here.
Maybe some other time.
And this is going to be the second phase of Krauser, and there are a few things that are missing from the fight that the remake has taken out.
So, you two are all hooked up now, is that it? Where's Ashley? Do you really want to know? She's beyond that gate. But you'll need 3 insignias to open it.
What are you gonna do, Krauser?
There's one in the north, and the other in the east.
And let me guess, you got the last one.
It pretty much means you're on a tight leash.
Sounds like you thought this one out pretty well.
I've been waiting for you, rookie. Oh, worried about the girl, is that it? That's just like you. You always had poor judgment. But if you think I'm gonna let you out of here alive, you're even more naive than I thought. You can't save her. You can't save anyone.
Give it up, Krauser. Being a lackey for these maniacs won't bring your men back. And what the hell for? Revenge on the government? You think they would want that?
Revenge. You think I'm doing all this for revenge?
Isn't that what this is all about?
See, in that jungle, I had a revelation. The most important thing in this world is pure, unadulterated power. Those Illuminados have given me that.
You know, you were always an asshole. But at least you had some kind of code. Some honor. And look at you now.
Enough reminiscing. Move out and draw fire, soldier!
What do you intend to do restoring Umbrella?
To bring order and balance to this insane world of ours.
A psycho like you can't bring order or balance.
You don't seriously think a conservative mind can chart a new course for the world, do you? Don't just stand there. Come out and fight like a man.
I'm not falling for that one.
Just trying to have fun. What is it that you fight for, comrade?
My past, I suppose.
Umbrella.
We'll never see eye to eye. You've made it all this way. You haven't learned a thing. I have to say, I'm disappointed.
And you? I take that as a compliment.
Again and again. You're too soft to do what's necessary. That's the difference between you and me, rookie.
2 down, 1 more to go, Krauser.
We'll see about that. Witness the power!
You've lost it completely, Krauser.
Prepare for your death, Leon.
Journey's not done. Last lesson starts right now.
Nah. Time for the teacher to be taught.
Oh, such confidence. Bring it, rookie! Do what you have to do. That's right. I trained well.
That you did, Major. That you did.
Oh, Krauser, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun when I reported you dead to Wesker. Think of all the paperwork I would have to fill out if you were to show up alive.
Come on. Come on.
That's a large thing you have there. But I don't like it when men play rough.
So yeah, that's pretty much all the changes. In a remake, Leon's the one that killed Krauser, and you no longer get to see him again, and there's no second boss fight. But in the original, it was Ada that killed Krauser. Ada was the one that dispatched Krauser. And that was another change that they really got rid of, and that they completely removed the second boss fight, and it takes place while Leon is fighting his way through to get to Ashley. Before we wrap this up, before people claim that he was working for Sadler, I want people to realize is that in the original, he never gave a damn about him. He was just nothing but a pawn. Go play the original and get Krauser's note and you'll fully understand. They made a change that in the remake, Krauser is obsessed with Leon, but in the original, he had a plan to kill Leon and Ada after he was done with his work. And that's another thing that they took out completely.
So, it seems you killed Krauser too. How shall I return my appreciation?
What are you talking about? I thought he was with you.
What are you talking about? Did you really think I'd trust an American? To tell you the truth, I was contemplating how to get rid of him. But thanks to you, that's no longer necessary.
You were just using him right from the start.
Oh, I must hand it to you. You've demonstrated quite a bit of promise by killing Krauser. when your assimilation with Las Plagas is complete, I'll have you serve as my guard.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to decline your generous offer. I have prior engagements.
Enjoy your smart-mouthing while you can.
With all that said, Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite video games of all time, and it always will truly be in my heart because it has really inspired generations of games and developers. And don't be surprised that Capcom is not going to be staying true to their words. They're going to repeat the same thing again, just like they did to 2 and 3 and 4 Remake. Biggest disappointment to me is they character assassinated Krauser, especially Wesker, because they really ruined the timeline and the story of the Umbrella. For all the new people that's very interested into one of the most legendary video games of all time, play the original. It's on every single platform and you could easily find this yourself. And the game is not outdated. That's just a lazy excuse just to push away the old games. And it's been done like this before with Silent Hill 2. And speaking of Silent Hill 2, if people ever ask me to review that game, the thing is I haven't played that game for years. Maybe one day I might think about it, who knows. But I really want to focus on Dead Space Remake because I promised myself I want to remake that so I can explain why it's a poor remake. And I'm just going to be honest with people, even though I present my videos, even though I'm a silent type, but as I improve, I could probably just do more like this, just review and talk at the same time. I mean, if people ever ask me to do like more reviews, maybe one day I'll be interested. I just gotta figure out what game. I might go on horror games for a bit because modern horror games are very lacking these days. So yeah, I thought this review was gonna be a challenge, but nah. Just a side-by-side comparison when I showed how they copied other games, it's just proof enough that it is indeed soulless. I don't need to say more. I mean, everybody has already said everything before I ever came on, so that's pretty much it. In the future, maybe I'll review some games, especially some games that were completely abandoned or forgotten. I'll probably come up with some more. And I appreciate you guys for watching. See you next time.